Okay.
You're listening to the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Carpenter.
I'm Dasha.
Hey, I'm Billie Eilish.
What's up, guys? I'm Camila Cabello.
Hey, this is Tate McRae.
I love this station.
I love this station.
You're listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. On the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Broadcasting live in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
If it's unexplainable, we're talking about it.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic,
we cover everything where the unknown becomes the known.
And now, here are your hosts, Jennie Nicasio and Tom Callway.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jennie Nicasio, along with my fabulous co-host, Tom Callway. We're on the Oracle Talk Radio Network, live in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. How you doing tonight, Tom?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing this, warmer than usual January night?
Yeah, well, you know what, Tom? I had an interesting day yesterday.
What's happening?
Okay, I went to the dentist to get a filling replaced that was, a little loose. Okay, So listen to this. So I don't like to go to the dentist. I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah,
I
naturally.
had a lot of bad experiences at the dentist. So I mean, seriously, I have some serious bad things. But let me tell you what happened to me. So I had some edibles, and I decided, I'm a little nervous. Maybe I'll take just a half of one.
Yeah, what can go wrong?
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
I need details. What happened?
Okay, I'm okay. I'm talking to the hygienist. I'm talking to the dental assistant. I'm joking with
Naturally.
the dentist.
A little buzz, you're talking to everybody.
Social butterfly. So as soon as she started to drill, and it was like a constant in my head. It was like it didn't change tune, and I go, oh, I can't do this. I said, stop. I pushed the pushed her hand away. I said, I'm having a panic attack. I had the worst experience since the last time I went to the dentist. But I'm thinking, why? I mean, I was like totally like distraught. The drill was like a constant. It wasn't like, it was like, and it wouldn't stop, and it kept on going and going, and I totally lost it. I was so embarrassed. She had to stop. And
so you got a little too high and got paranoid is what I'm hearing.
I got paranoid, but it took me back to when I was a kid in high school. You know what I mean? It's like, I thought it was supposed to calm you down, but I guess not. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, what's going on, my friend? I bet, it's supposed to calm you down, but, in the safety of your own home when you're on the couch.
Yes, when you're on the couch.
To go run errands at the dentist, where I bet you at least 50 million people in this country have some fear of the dentist. So
I thought it was supposed to calm me down. I guess
it's not like a Xanax or something.
Well, you know what? I just totally, I was shaking all the way. I decided to go to the dollar store after. I'm like,
yeah, that'll sell.
Am I going to be able to do this? Everybody's looking at me. It's like, okay, she's an idiot. She's on something. I've had 20 MRIs over the years, but the last one, Xanax don't do nothing to me. And so either does Valium. When I go to the doctors, I don't know.
Do you want a I guess creepy weirdo Tom story about something like that?
Give me a creepy Tom story.
Yeah. So a doctor called me a psychopath.
Why?
So years ago.
Are you a psychopath?
Years ago. I'm 20. This is like 2017, maybe 2016, something around there. I had a slip disc in my back. I had to go for an injection, right?
Mm-hmm.
I walk into the injection clinic.
Oh yeah, you told me that story.
I lay down on the sheet, you know what I mean, on the table, and they're trying to give you stuff. And I said, nah, I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm good. Just go ahead. And they're like, this needle is going into your spine and it's going to go into your disc. And I said, it's fine. They did it. I took it. The person they brought in another like physician's aide or whatever to make sure my legs don't kick and I'm not like, doing something crazy. And when he walked around me to go to the other side, he said I was smiling with that needle in my back, in my spine.
You were smiling.
He said, oh my God. I've never seen anyone smile getting this injection
Only
in their
you,
back.
Tom.
You're a psychopath.
Yeah, you must be a psychopath for like enjoying that. I remember I had to get an epidural when I had my first baby. I was like, they missed. Oh, it was the worst. I had to do it like 3 times. It was the worst experience of my life.
They missed.
Well, you know what? I was paralyzed from the waist down for 6 weeks.
Because
after I had
missed?
they messed up.
Practice.
Yeah, they messed up. So the second
that.
baby, they lied to me. I said, I want my epidural. She said, Jen, we're not giving you one after last one. I said, are you?
They remembered?
Well, it was in my notes. Yeah.
Oh, it was it's going to be in your chart.
Pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
Really good. There's a lot of stuff going on besides drugs and epidural. Needle.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in the country too.
Crazy shit going down, Tom.
A lot of crazy, you know what, and I'm here for all of it. But first, into a little, Chasing Prophecy Oracle Talk business. I want to thank everybody somebody turned up the download meter on us, and you guys are coming out of the woodwork downloading our episodes.
Yes.
We're seeing the views go up. We're seeing, our social media clips that we clip up for the show. Everybody who's helping make this a success, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. You guys really make it worth it when you guys chime in, when you interact with our guests that we bring on. We know we're doing a good job. So thank you all very much.
Yes,
for
thank
that.
you so much, Kevin. But there's so many. Yeah, there's Squatchman, Joe,
Squatchman. Yeah. You could. Hey, Holly, good to see you. Holly's probably annoyed with me for inviting her to all of these.
Oh well.
But if not, no, Holly, you're a great member and a supporter, and you come on. Thank you to everyone who's become members on Spreaker and Patreon. We'll keep churning out the content if you guys keep coming out and just supporting us. We love the interactions. We love that all of us can talk about these weird things every Thursday night. This is why we do it. This is what and you're the people who we want to do it for. It's really wonderful. And I'm going to tell you this, everybody. I'm going to tell you this, America. Something has opened up in the White House with the new changing. I don't know if you saw this, Jenny, but you did. You sent it to me, but I don't know if everybody else has seen it, where people like Jenny and myself now can apply for press passes. And as you know, the Oracle Talk Radio Network, we're a wonderful group of like-minded individuals. We don't turn anybody away, but we do, there are a lot of people who love this great country and are real Americans. So if we get a press pass, I applied. I applied. So if we get a press pass,
Tom, I knew you would.
Yeah, of course I would. So you're going to see my, salt and pepper hair. You're going to see me sitting in that because the camera angle, shooting from behind.
I don't see salt and pepper. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, if you saw me in real life, yeah, it's real salt and pepper. It's
in real life.
In real life, yeah. I'm not here. I'm fake. But I'm an AI.
You should see mine. I'll let my grays come in. Can you see? Woo!
Oh, Jenny,
I'm going
wilding.
I'm going.
I know how much that took for you as an Italian woman to show grays. Believe me, I know.
I'm letting my hair go gray. Sorry.
Oh, do it. It's supposed to be.
I earned these gray hairs.
It's classy. And I even got to do the hands when I'm talking to you. But and anyway, if we get a press pass, you all are going to be the first to know, and we are going to be asking real questions, and we're going to be getting up there and bringing up drones, bringing up aliens, bringing up JFK conspiracy files, which are going to be released, RFK's files, MLK files. We're going to be making sure that everyone gets there. So please, this network is your network. The show is your show. You let us know, and we will be right there. I'll go pick Jenny up. We'll do the bandwagon all the way driving down to.
Yeah, I'll bring my what do you call it? My what's that thing? Terrible towel.
There you go. There you go.
Or
Especially
my
down in
pirate. What
DC,
do you
they won't
call
like
that?
it going
Come on,
through
what's the
Maryland. I'll
pirate
tell you
sign?
that.
You guys from Pittsburgh, what is that thing? The pirates. Oh my God, the flag. What is it called? Doesn't it have a name?
The flag, the pennant.
No,
What are
the
you talking about?
pirate. The Pittsburgh Pirates. What is
I don't know.
that? The flag. Oh, geez.
Ron probably knows.
I'm
Great
like ding
segment
dong.
into
Ron,
great segment
definitely.
into our guests.
Well, wait a
right?
minute. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let's just say one thing before we get started. There's some
Okay.
serious news. I mean, what happened with the plane and the
Oh
helicopter?
yeah.
But I
Prayers
just
out
want
to
to
all
say
their
my
family.
thing about this. I want to say one thing about it. I did not know. I did a TikTok on it. I did not know that Black Hawk helicopters they can be remotely flown. Jolly Roger, that's it. Jolly Roger, Holly.
Holly
I'm
in
a
the
ding
chat.
dong.
Great job, Holly.
But yeah, I did not know they had a remote capability. And that kind of leaves a little
You don't like
uneasiness
that, do you? I can tell you don't like it. Why don't you like it?
because anybody could have got a hold of that and hacked into that and did that. I don't trust anything what's going on. I don't
I
trust
hear you.
the former administration. I don't trust the people that in Senate and all them that aren't on our side. But I'm not going to say anything else because we have to bring on our guests, Ron. And unfortunately, I cannot stay. I can only stay till 9:00. So if we go over, you can stay and talk. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll
All
be
right.
all right. That's usually about the time we end up anyway. But let
Sometimes
me
go over.
sometimes, yeah. But let me bring on Ron. Ron's a field investigator of all things cryptid, including his main interest of the creature they call Bigfoot. He's also an Air Force veteran. Thank you for your service. And started a group, Believe in Yourself, Fight Against PTSD, with using Biker Bigfoot as his mascot. I've seen the picture of Biker Bigfoot.
That was
It's
cute.
wonderful.
I like
It's
that guy.
wonderful. He goes to events to bring attention to awareness of the illness they call post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, found in all walks of life, whether you're a veteran or fought in wars, first responders, or sightings from anything cryptid or just even basic life. And he wants to spread awareness of everything and laughter and bring laughter into people's lives through his Biker Bigfoot and also his movement. So without further ado, I will bring on Ron. Ron, thank you so
for
much,
coming on,
Hi.
Ron.
aka
How we doing?
Biker, aka Biker Bigfoot. Yes, there we go.
Yes. How you doing?
Biker Bigfoot.
Biker
this-
Bigfoot. Yeah, I sent
This is
Jennie
one of
the
my buddies
picture
here.
from the Facebook group, and
Yeah, that's
It
cool.
was wonderful. It's great, and it's such a great idea because we've had. I'll tell you this. I'll be very honest with you. We've had a ton of cryptid people. When Jennie and I have been together doing this show, and plus, separate, doing other podcasts and other things, we've met so many cryptid people, but you are the first person that comes to mind that has a Bigfoot inspired mascot. So, you're the first one.
Well, I have to say I'm a little bit different of a person, so I have to have different ideas. So, as I was telling you backstage, I have multiple things that I have, and you summed it up pretty well there. And it comes from many different backgrounds that have faced in my life. As I just growing up at home and going through school, jobs, normal life, entering the service and having the incident that I had there, having sightings and acknowledgments in the woods from the different cryptids. In the first sighting that I had was at 13 with Bigfoot, and obviously it grew and it led into what I'm doing now. So, just everything that I've done in my life has brought me to where I'm at now. To bring all of this together the way I have, it's a wide band of eclectic things, and it is very unique. I get the same reaction from everybody whenever they see what I'm doing and find out why. It's really heartwarming. It's really humbling. And I love that this has been put on me. It's a mission that came to my heart at one point, and I had to follow it. And what I try to tell everybody my stories, not to gloat, but to tell people, hey, this is where I've come from and this is where I've came to now. And it could happen to anybody. So, it's been a wonderful journey. It really
Mhm.
has.
And wonderful story. Thank you so much for letting us know, more about you too. Joe, just to see your question, Ron is outside of Pittsburgh. So southern, I guess Jenny side of Pittsburgh, about 40 minutes from Jenny, and I guess an hour from Pittsburgh. So Joe is another person lives in northeast PA. So it's a little local thing we have going on tonight with all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me start off the questions. Let me get into this one specific thing. When people think of Bigfoot, typically they think Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, Northern California. You are outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, Western Pennsylvania area.
Yes.
You're having sightings of Bigfoot in these parts over here. Would that surprise that maybe somebody who doesn't know that much about Bigfoot?
Well, let me put it this way.
Okay.
It's not localized to one specific area.
Okay.
They are all over the world. As we know, they come with different names, different statures, different attitudes, different looks from different parts of the world. Our area obviously is Bigfoot, Sasquatch, from the Native Americans. In Ohio, we got the grass man. Florida, we got the skunk ape. It goes on from there. So yes, we're on the East Coast. There are sightings all up and down all these colonies. I've lived in southwestern Pennsylvania all my life, and I've ventured out recently out of the states, except for back whenever I went to the service. It's not just a localized thing. Again, I have to say that again. They're everywhere.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. So it's not unheard of to hear stories from other places. I know I've been brushing up on some old documentaries, some old shows that get around to different areas that I haven't been yet, and I see people saying, "Oh, well, how is it that a Bigfoot can be in such and such an area because this is wide open plains?" Well, there are still mountain ranges in those areas, and they will travel. It's just like something that really astonishes me with Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah, well, we have some to show you too, huh,
There's
Tom?
video evidence of a group of Bigfoot following the buffalo, and this is their park cameras. So
see,
with the technology that we have today, we're getting more and more sightings because people are out there, with the popularity of this, because the TV shows are out there, people are getting more and more interested. People are out camping, they're getting to see these things, and we're getting more and more visual evidence. The physical evidence, we're still working on that.
That we're still working. Very true.
The holy grail of it would be to have an actual Bigfoot, but it's just like, you and I sitting here talking to each other, that will that ever happen, that we'll actually be able to sit down with a Bigfoot and learn its language and talk to it?
Well,
at one
before
time,
we go on,
the Native
Ron,
Americans did.
Before we go on, we're going to get to all your questions, guys, in the chat.
Okay.
We're just going to take one at a time. But once you said that about Yellowstone, my niece worked at Yellowstone, and I think it was Crater Lake out that way too. And her job, she worked for the park, and her job was to go back and get the trail cams. And what she saw scared the living out of her. And we're going to show that to you.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead. Make it as big as you can. I want you to look, guys, in the chat. Look way into the. You have to make it bigger so they can see. Look at that. What do you think of that? And that was at Yellowstone. I do believe it was somewhere around there. I wish she was in the chat. But do you see
Do
that?
you see that? The eye right here.
Yeah. I think I've seen this photo.
You have?
you?
Yeah.
Now, she
Okay.
took that. That's her hand.
If it has been publicized, I'm not sure, but
Well,
it looks
I
familiar.
put when we Sean Kelly and I a few years ago we put this on. You might have seen it on. But that is so freaking creepy.
It is.
Now, I don't know if it's like you guys in the chat. What do you think it is? It could be an alien. I mean, with that big round head, or it could be those eyebrows that really creep me out because it's really sunken in.
Well, what I'm seeing is no fur.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see fur either.
I don't see it either.
But it could be just the camera angle, the light from the flash.
Okay,
You know,
that's my niece. Here she is right here. She said that was the one that when she worked at Crater Lake North National Park in Oregon. No, Shayna, did you think it was something like a Bigfoot, or do you think it was some other kind of a cryptic? See, I don't know, because when you look at some of the Bigfoot, if you even look at the guy you have, his face, sometimes they don't have hair right there, and then they have the hair. Have you seen any Bigfoots like that, cryptics like that? That had like there was no hardly like sort of like I'm gonna say your monkey back there, your monkey back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen pictures and stuff of Bigfoot and Sasquatch where some parts of the face don't have fur. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to there are different species of Bigfoot. So some have the full face hair, some don't. That also comes with age too.
That's just creepy as hell.
I've
saw that.
I've seen videos of Bigfoots where they have a receding hairline and they've went gray.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Obviously. Yeah. Just like us.
Now, Ron, do you think Bigfoot is a flesh, blood, or do you think it's more like a interdimensional creature?
That goes back to multiple species again. I believe that everything that everybody has said about them is true. It's not just flesh and blood. It's not just interdimensional. There's capabilities for each different kind of Bigfoot that's out there.
That's true.
William Robinson wanted to know, is that a thumbprint on the screen? I don't know.
Thumbprint?
Oh, you mean? I think that's just the way. Yeah, I think that's
it's a reflection off of her skin underside. That's what I think that one is.
Digital distortion.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
I would, if I had to. All right, gun to your head. I would take this out of the Bigfoot realm and more into an extraterrestrial realm.
You think?
I just personally,
if we can get somebody that is like a computer analyst, they can actually bring some of the darkness away from the right side of the face.
Yeah.
And be able to pick whether there's hair or no hair there.
What Harold says makes sense too.
It could have, that's a good point with these. And look, if you have a ton of trail cams in Yellowstone, you're not buying the most expensive one because you got to buy thousands, hundreds of them. You know what I mean? So it might be lacking in megapixel. It might be lacking in contrast. You don't know, but it's you got a forehead. You got something that appears to be an eye, looking right in. Which is, Joe, it's pretty spooky. I'll have to give you that. Whether it's, whether it is real or not.
If you want to step away from what I normally do, the seriousness of being an investigator, it almost looks like E.T. from the movie. So
there you go.
Yeah, sort of. But like they were saying that the eyeball, like the pupil.
Yeah.
Most of it, when a gray has the whole eye is dark, I believe.
Yeah,
you can definitely see some white there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can definitely see some white. And William says, does Ron know of any reports in Cook Forest in Western PA? My in-laws have a cabin there and years and have several odd experiences.
I don't personally. I haven't been up there yet, but I'm heading that way this year.
Okay.
I was actually at Marionville Bigfoot Festival last year, and I'm supposed to be speaking up there this year. So is Dan. So while we're out there, Dan's wanting me to go do some investigating while we're up there. But yeah, absolutely, there are a lot of sightings up there that have been reported. I have a few other friends that are out that way. Actually, a lot of friends out that way because there's Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. Bill Rigby is out that way. Matter of fact, I have his show coming up here in March, the Penn, Ohio #3, I think it is. Yeah, 3. So we're going to be doing that one. But there definitely has been a lot of sightings up there. And that's stuff that I'm going to be looking into further this year. I've done a lot of research, more or less, in Pennsylvania most of my life privately before I actually came out and became a speaker and started what I'm doing. And it's pushed south a little bit. So I'm going to head north a little bit this year too. So we'll see what's out there. I'm going to do some investigating.
William, just in the chat, I'm throwing in for William, I'm throwing in Ron's Facebook profile. You can add him on there if you want to discuss anything with him. Ron's a very good responder on the messenger. So, please, link up, if you want to share stories. Oh, Joe. So let's get into this a little more. Your personal belief about the animal versus spiritual or alien.
Okay. Well, as far as the animal aspect of it, I do not believe that it is an animal.
Okay.
It is very closely related to the human hominid. It is flesh and blood in many aspects. And it is spiritual in a lot of aspects. Now, if you look back into the Native American cultures, there was a lot of connection between the Sasquatches and the Native Americans. Now, that's something that I've been following pretty closely. I am a spiritual child, and I also have some blood in me. And I have a lot of friends that I've been speaking with, and we've been going over a lot of this stuff, and I've been researching some of it. And part of the reason why is because I've always been interested in the Native American culture. Mm-hmm. And I'm also trying to, with what I'm doing with PTSD and the veterans, is I'm trying to re-acknowledge the code talkers, if anybody remembers who they are. They were the Native American.
Oh, yeah, the Native Navajo? Is it the Navajo?
Yes, the Navajo Native Americans that were in the Marines that mm-hmm. helped us win the war. So it's been a lost thing. The Native American cultures have been lost. So I've been trying to project this. So yes, I'm digging deep into that aspect. But your question about that, I do believe that they are an intelligent being. They are capable of eluding us the way that they have for hundreds of years. And I say hundreds of years because they were here before us.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
The aspect of them being alien is not far-fetched because of some of the reports that I've had is them walking out of a spaceship.
Okay.
And that was up in the Uniontown Mountains, which the Uniontown Mountains are Mount Davis, and they follow suit with the Appalachian Mountains there. That's the whole range up through there.
That's really interesting.
Which is another part of an area that I've studied, because now where I live is in Daisytown. I'm in a very high historical area because of Route 40, which was the road that traveled west. And there was a lot of the wars that was happening coming through here with George Washington and Jefferson, Braddock, because we got Braddock's grave up in the mountains. George Washington settled in this area. I actually grew up on a farm where the house was built by George Washington and his troops. Which happens to be relatives of mine, some of his troops. which maiden name to my family was Kinder, coming from the Amish name Kindred. So yes, I am part Amish as well. But there's a lot of Native American culture that had traveled through here. I'm actually living on a Native American trail.
Oh, wow.
That runs right through here. There are burial grounds in the woods where the Bigfoots are. There are burial grounds up in Mountain Davis. I've done investigations up there for Bigfoot and came across these grave sites. Something that I've talked about with that is these grave sites are way bigger than a human size. So,
wow.
Has anybody tried to dig them up?
They are sacred. You do not want to do that.
Okay. I guess, yeah. What was that movie called? You know what I'm talking about. No, the one with the little girl.
I was thinking that one.
I did too when I heard burial ground and digging up.
You know, the one with the pool and all the skeletons. What was that?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Yeah, fun fact, they use real skeletons for that.
I know, and that's probably why all the people on the show died.
That would have been an unnerving thing to be an actor in that movie.
You're exactly
they're all
right.
dead, aren't they?
I think they are dead. A lot of them died from that movie. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the actors and set people.
Well, I mean, you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Do not mess with an Indian burial ground. You don't want to do that because there's a lot of spiritual things that happen there
for sure.
Now, and I could confirm that because when we walked into the area, we didn't know we was in the middle of it. The forest had grown over it to the point where we barely knew they were there. And I started getting an uneasy feeling. So we stopped and we started looking around and we found about 30 of them. And when I say they are bigger than human size, I believe now I'm 6'2". Now, you look at the Native American culture back in the time that these grave sites would have been made. Yeah. They were nowhere near my size.
No, they're smaller people. Yeah.
So when you look at these grave sites, something bigger than me looks like it was buried there.
Okay.
So what I believe, I can't confirm this, but my belief on this is why we can't find a skeleton for a Bigfoot. It's possible that they're being buried with the Native Americans.
Oh, that could possibly be.
That's very possible.
It's a possibility. But I mean, to actually see these things, you would understand why I would say that. Now, am I going to go test this theory and find out? No. And that's the reason. And that's the reason why, you know, if that is the possibility that is the truth, why wouldn't you bury something that you did not want to be found, you know?
Yeah.
So
protecting it. Now,
the ones that were here were desecrated. Unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Which is, like I said before, this is an old mining town. So, you know, there's a trail that goes back there, what was an old road for the mines, because there's caves and everything all over here. Matter of fact, the man on my driveway is actually an old entrance into the mine. Now, some of these entrances are still available, I would say, within a mile from my home. And one of these entrances is believed to be the home of the Bigfoot that's live in these areas. I have multiple people telling me that they still see them. I've actually, when I first moved here 10 years ago, I heard a long sustained howl.
Okay.
And I determined that it was definitely a Bigfoot because, you know, you can hear trains from my position. You can hear fire whistles from all the way around. We do have coyotes in the area. There was definitely not one bit of an ounce to that sound that could tell me that it was canine or a siren. It was definitely the Bigfoot. I added up back in there a couple days later and I had confirmation. We found footprints. We found shelter. We found a mud handprint on the tree. And I had knocking and it stomped at me several times. So, yeah. But what happened here, there was back in the 90s, there was a news report with, I believe it was in Channel 4 News. I'm speaking with a friend that was on that investigation, and he's trying to get me the reports from the news, but that was in the 90s. Who knows if they still have this stuff? But I'm trying to reach into this and see what all that they looked at and found, because I want to put it together with what I'm finding and try to get the correlation with this. Now, on top of the fact that there has been people seeing these Bigfoot back here, but there's also been UFO activity back there.
Mm-hmm.
So again, do we have the correlation where the Bigfoots and the aliens are together on this? Now, with the aliens, the friend that had seen this personally, face to face, said that they were the gray aliens.
Oh.
And he could see right into the window of the ship. That's how close he was.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sure you'll end up with him on your show, so he'll tell you that story.
Well, future push. Any friends or anybody promote our show, send guests our way. We'd love to have them.
I believe Dan already sent John Statsco to you.
Yes. I'm trying to work out dates with him as well.
Yeah.
And you never really realize the UFO activity in southwestern Pennsylvania. It doesn't come across as a hot spot, really, but it's there. I mean, Jenny's had her own experiences, but Holly. Kecksburg is right. Absolutely.
Chestnut Ridge.
Chestnut Ridge area.
Yes.
You got Thunderbirds as well. But Holly wants to know, what's your most intriguing experience with Bigfoot? Something that sticks out in your mind?
Well, obviously my first sighting when I was 13.
Okay.
That is the most relevant one to my life in this cryptid world, because that's what got me started. That's my, I saw it on a family farm, and I at 13 years old, I didn't go back and find any of the evidence or stick around. Obviously, I seen what I saw and I took off, and it's just over the years I started doing more and more research on it. Started doing my own personal investigations before I even knew that this world was so big. So, and then again, a couple of years before I graduate high school, I found out about where I'm living now had this investigation. So, when I'm talking about it to people in school, and they're like, "Hey, did you see that news report?" Yeah. What do you think? Was that real or not? Because a lot of people were trying to say that it was a hoax. Now, living here, obviously, I've been all over this area looking into this stuff. The area that these footprints were found, it could have been easily hoaxed, but the information that I have verifies that it was not.
Okay. How does it contradict the hoaxing angle?
Because when people originally started talking about the angle of the hill, there was too much of a slope for somebody to be able to use a fake foot. Because this is what was being said, that they were using fake feet to make the impressions. That's one thing. Okay. The other thing is, whenever they did the scientific studies on this, they used a impression machine. Okay, that determines how deep the footprint was in the ground to tell you how much weight would be required to make that print.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the same area, if a person stepped down on it, I'm average about 220.
Okay.
And if I were to step in mud, there's no way that I'm going to make the same impression that did. They determined that one of the creatures was well over 1,000 pounds.
Wow. It's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of force to push down.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and I found tracks myself back there. And it was in a muddy, not mud, but it was soft. And I tried to push into it, and I couldn't make a mark. So, that there's some weight behind this. The picture that I have of one, I would say it was probably about, I have size 14 feet. This was just a slight smaller than mine, but it's also been said that one of the 3 Bigfoots that live in this area is a young.
Oh, juvenile.
Yeah. We do have a juvenile. I was playing peekaboo with me when I was back here one day.
Playing games with you.
Yeah. So, but those are two major incidents. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened over the years with me investigating privately, and then once I started going public, I became real good friends with Les O'Dell, Fayette County Bigfoot Researchers Organization, Daniel Benoit. I've been on multiple expeditions with Dan. He actually did a show up here in Pennsylvania, and then we did a camping trip afterwards up in Mount Davis, which is a high area for my research, because I used to camp up there a lot, going fishing every year, and that's where I was saying that's where I found the Indian burial grounds.
Yeah.
So to go over to the spiritual side of this, there was a lot of spiritual things that happened whenever we was in Mount Davis with Dan. It was really interesting. It really opened my eyes, because if you take a look at the flesh and blood side of it, and that's the only thing that you believe, I would say that you're wrong. Because I experienced something totally different. You have to go into this with an open mind.
You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the biggest thing that I can ever tell anybody is, if somebody's telling you a story, don't disregard them and make them feel bad about what they're saying, because here's my PTSD thing coming in.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you sit there and you say, oh, that does not exist, or what you're telling me is a lie, because that couldn't possibly be, because a lot of people are biblically washed to believe that such a thing does not exist. Well, you'd be wrong, because it does. There's a lot of things out there that exist that we don't realize. All these cryptids that you're hearing about, they do exist. It has come from either folklore or real life sightings. So whenever somebody's telling you a story, just give them that moment and listen to them, and don't dismiss their story, because obviously they've seen something. And that person can only tell you what they know. It's something that you don't want to sit and you don't want to push somebody, and because this is the biggest thing that I have a problem with dealing with the PTSD with people, is when somebody drives them down to the point where they won't talk about it, they harbor that. Okay.
Yeah. It sounds, that sounds exactly right.
At one time, I was a vice commander of Legion. And during my time there, and this is where I started doing what I'm doing now, because I was in these positions in the Legion and seeing a lot of things that other people kind of dismissed. Okay. I listened to people because I was dismissed a lot of my life. So I take the time to listen to people. And whenever I got into this position at the Legion, and then I became a director of the Riders Group, and I'm going around and I'm meeting all these people. I was in command over 20 different legions at one time in the motorcycle group. And I got to meet so many people. And just by letting people know that, I'm here to listen, this is, what I've done in my life. I opened up about everything that I do. And once people see that I'm very convicted to my story, that, okay, well, he's telling me something about this, and he's not afraid to tell me this story, then that opens people up. And I've had so many people open up to me and tell me what's going on in their life. And that's where my mission came to me, to start trying to help people with PTSD. It is a very hard thing to deal with. And again, you said it in the opener. It doesn't matter what part of life you're in, whether you're ex-military, current military, first responders, in the cryptid world, normal life, something will happen to you that will cause you to have these issues in your mind. Now, the thing that happened in command of the Legion, we go to funerals for the fallen members of the military. In one year, I went to 4 funerals for suicide.
Mm.
So, when that came about, it really stuck with me. And that's where my mission started to become serious to me. And I developed this page. I just had my 3-year anniversary just before Christmas. And it really opened up a lot of people. I had my own show down at the Legion a couple years ago. It really opened people up. It gave them a place to say, hey, I'm familiar being in this building, and you're talking about this and you're talking about that. You're like, you've probably heard the phrase closet Bigfooter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have just made that up. I don't know.
No, I understand what you meant. Not everybody wants to put that out there.
It's funny whenever you're in a setting like that, because I had this happen a lot because I was very open. I would get in my costume and just walk into the Legion and just and just do stuff. I'd ride to the Legion in costume and that brings up another part of my story about Biker Bigfoot. But it would just open people up, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, I didn't know you were into Bigfoot. I know I love Bigfoot. I'm into that." And then I'll be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to be at this show." They're like, "What?" And so they would like, "Okay, I want to come too. I've always wanted to do this." So that's why I did one at the Legion, and it brought a lot of people that would not normally go to a Bigfoot show.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
This is what I mean by I do things in a different way. And I've had that question, why Bigfoot and PTSD? If you got a sighting, wouldn't you think you would have PTSD?
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing,
Definitely,
but also, that's one thing, but also, Jenny, it's also 2 different subjects that people might not want to talk about.
Yeah, it's like
you got it.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. I don't know. There's a lot of people that have heard my story. I've told this in multiple places in the past few years, but you get to hear this firsthand here. So I bought a costume. I'm already a Legion rider. I have a bike, and there was a show. And this is the first show I've ever been to, was in Hiller, Pennsylvania, which is in Brownsville. And the Fayette County Bigfoot Researchers Organization was having the show. So I was like, you know what? That's only 10 minutes away from my house. I'm going to go.
Okay.
So I would drop hints on their ad on Facebook, and I would take, I have a picture of me in costume, and I'd be like, hey, maybe you'll see this guy,
Yeah.
So I decided to get on my bike, and I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? My exhaust is pretty close to my legs. My costume's going to get burnt. So I was like, oh, hey, I got leather chaps. Let's throw the chaps on to protect my fur. So then I was like, okay, I'm a Legion rider. Let me throw my vest on. And then I threw and then I was like, well, my mask is going to flap all over the place. I'm not going to be able to see. So I put the helmet and the goggles on.
Yeah.
So one of the guys was coming to my house, and we were going to ride up to a local bar because that's where there was a benefit ride that was leaving from this local bar. And I said, well, I'm going to ride up with you. I said, but I'm going to go someplace else afterwards. I said, I'm not going to go on a ride. He says, oh, okay. I said, just come to my house and we'll ride up together. He pulls into my driveway, and I'm all dressed up, ready to go. So he was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, no. I said, just follow me. I said, we're going to take a little bit of a roundabout route just so people could see me. We're going to go to the thing, and then I'm going to take off and go to this show. So obviously I show up to this event with the bikers, and there's a bunch of people there that I know out of costume, and they went crazy. They was taking pictures. I actually used to be a bouncer at this bar years ago. So I went inside. The owner and everybody's getting pictures with me, and they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this, Ron, So I drive off and I head over to Hiller, and I come pulling into the park over there, and it's a long driveway to get in, and I had to circle around everything. I pulled in, stopped the show, everybody stopped what they were doing, and they come over to see me, get pictures and everything. There was even speakers lost their crowd. So, and this is I just lost my ears. So now I'm right at the camera.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Those things don't last very long for some reason. Okay. So I pull into Hillman Park, and one of the first people that came over to me after all the pictures was Les O'Dell. And he loves telling this story about the first time we met. And he's like, oh, here comes this crazy guy on the bike dressed up as Bigfoot. I got to go meet him. So that started our longtime friendship. And he's the person that pulled me in and says, Ron, how about, because after a couple of shows that we were been together I would show up like this, and I would get up in front of the crowd and talk about my mission with PTSD. And so he pulled me off, and he's like, hey, we got a show going on down in West Virginia in Sutton at the Bigfoot Museum down there. And he says, why don't you come down and talk about your mission? I said, absolutely. This is great. This is my opportunity to get this in front of a crowd. Now, mind you, in school, I was shy, and I was in drama class, and I had a hard time getting up in front of people. I went down there. I did this. The greatest part about this was it opened up my life. I got to know so many people in these past few years. It's just unbelievable how my journey changed.
Yeah.
Les says, I need you to open the Friday night conference, but the thing is, how would you feel about introducing somebody? I says, oh, sure, great. I'll do it. Whatever you need me to do, buddy. It was Dr. Mildrum.
Oh, okay.
So that was exciting. This is my first famous person, one of the pinnacle people that's, out there that is doing the scientific side of things, and I get to introduce him. So it was really great. 450 people for the first time at this conference. Yeah. And I got to get my mission out there, meet Dr. Mildrum and do the show. Next day I went down into town. I rode into town dressed up, and I actually rode all the way to West Virginia on the bike, and just went down into town, got in there and did my thing. And after that, it just took off, just one thing after another just kept going. And I, getting the mission out there more and more, that question just kept coming up, why Bigfoot, why PTSD, why veterans, why with this? Well, you wouldn't believe how many veterans are in the Bigfoot and cryptid world.
Oh yeah, real Americans. It's who we do this for.
These people were out there on the battlefield fighting for our country. They have these skill set. They're able to get out there in these woods, and they're able to do the things that they can do. Look at Russell on Expedition Bigfoot. He gets out there and does all this. Look at the mountain monsters. Most of those guys are veterans.
Yeah.
So, again,
it's an incredible story, an incredible mission. I just, you really have taken off, in your, and are finding success. And it's just, I want to thank you so much, one, for your time and coming on and sharing your mission and getting it out there to America, because you're right. They are things that people need to talk about, and you can talk about these things and not be ridiculed. And the way you do is fascinating. So I just, thank you again for being on. Thank you for your show. I want you to take the next minute or so, promote where people can find you, where they can support your mission, all of that. Time's yours.
Absolutely. So my personal page, Ron House, I have Believe in Yourself, Fight Against PTSD. The Believe in Yourself is all capital letters. There are other groups out there the same, so I capitalized it so you can depict it. On my picture is the back of my vest I actually had personally made for my costume. It has the American flag with all the entities on it, and then there's also, I actually have a Biker Bigfoot page. We also have Junior Biker Bigfoot. This is actually BB. This is Christy's Bigfoot that she happened to have before we met, and I have one just like him. Um, what else do we have? And then there's her page too. She's Cryptid Chaos Designs. And we met at Bigfoot show.
Wow, a little love in the air at these Bigfoot conferences, Jenny. How about that?
And we're getting married at a Bigfoot show.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, congratulations. That's really cool. You're going to be the first person I know that do that.
Listen, maybe I should go to a Bigfoot conference.
Yeah. Oh, Jenny, you'd be beating him off with a stick. What are you talking about? But anyway,
go to any one of those pages. Everything that we do, I haven't put anything up just yet. I'm still working on vacation time. You can turn it off if you're getting too hot. I'm still working on vacation time and everything, just to be, that way I'm tied in. But I do have these shows set up. There's 6 different shows that we are tied into this year so far. You never know. It always happens. You get to one and then another one asks.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it goes. Yep.
She's a little bit more organized than me. She usually has them done, but we've just been on a roller coaster of new things, and it's just been really difficult.
Maybe you should bring her on the camera so we can meet her.
She's not ready right now.
Well, next time. We'll hold you to next time. And anytime in the future you get any evidence, you get any cool stories that happen, reach back out to us. You can come back on. We can talk about all of that. When this becomes a podcast, I'll put the links to everything. Everybody listening, I'll put the links to your pages and things and where people can find you and all of that. And Harold, I saw you say this show is great. Thank you so much for that, Harold.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And Ron, it's been a pleasure. Be a friend of the show.
Yeah, I had one question I didn't get to ask you.
Good.
Have you ever received any kind of warning to tell you to stop doing your investigation from somebody or something? No?
Well, I've been in the woods and I've been I've pushed in too far on something, and there's a very uneasy feeling.
Okay.
One of the things that I do is I mean no harm. I'm just out here hiking. We'll go the other way. And when I turn and go the other way, it's fine. Everything, it calms down.
Okay.
Quite a few times.
That's
wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
Questions, or if you have any reports that you want to share, or if you need me to come out and investigate anything, just feel free to reach out to me. Or if you happen to having a PTSD thing that you need to talk to me about, and please,
Anything about going to the dentist?
I am.
Hopefully you heard that, Ron, before.
If you have any thoughts of suicide, please call the suicide hotline.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Reach out to me. I'm here to help.
That's good to know.
Good to know.
Thank you again, Ron.
Thank you again, Ron. Please take care. Be a friend of the show, and I'll let you know when this all goes live. Or, I mean, it's live now, but when it gets onto the podcast, so you can share it out too. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Interesting.
Right. Very interesting. Very fun. Ron's
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely nice guy. I love.
He reminds me of an actor. I forget who it is.
Oh, really?
What's the guy's name that was on? There was 2 of them. There was a blonde and there was a dark hair guy. Dukes of Hazzard, the young guy, the blonde. When he was young. Don't you remember Dukes of Hazzard? Oh, jeez, never mind. I guess I'm dating myself.
No. I know Dukes of Hazzard, but I can't remember who it.
I like those hearts, Joe.
Yeah, look at those hearts.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
That's true. That's true. Jenny's going to have a heart-shaped hot tub, ready for her and all that.
You know what? I had that
chocolate
on.
champagne.
I won't go there. I did have one. I did go to one of those once on my honeymoon.
You did?
The Poconos. We went to the Poconos and to
Oh, that's right. Don't they have a martini glass?
Yeah, Schneider. That's right, Joe. Yeah, those are. Yeah, of course, it ended in divorce, but that's another story. I'll tell you a
Oh
story about
Lord.
that. I'll tell
Well,
you a story.
yeah. Jenny, I know we gotta head off, so I want to thank everybody for
Oh
their
yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
questions, their wonderful insights. Thank you all so much. This is why we do it. Can't wait to see you next week. We should have 2 guests next week: an owner of a haunted house in Minnesota and an author. So we will be talking to both of them. Is that right, Jenny, or did the author go to another day?
I can't remember who we're talking about. You know me. I'll
Rob,
have to go. Who? Oh,
Rob, Rob
Ron.
Guttrow, or yeah.
I thought he changed to March.
Oh, then if he changed to March, then we have
I don't
the
know. I have to go look at
paranormal.
my notes.
We'll have a
I'm terrible.
paranormal owner that owns she owns a Airbnb, and you can rent it out and spend the night in a haunted house in
I
Minnesota.
wouldn't want to do that.
No, but she says multiple, people like you and me, Jenny, we don't do that, but paranormal investigators, they rent it out and they do an overnight investigation. And she has a ton of she's been sending
Well,
me a bunch
sort
of
of. Yeah, it reminds me that I can still. They didn't even start yet on my. I'm on a boot camp. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
what was it? The Brownsville demon house that turned it into a wedding venue. Remember?
Yes, they did. I saw that. Yeah.
Didn't we do the show? Were
You
you on
did.
the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
We had one of our
creepy.
interns and we talked about it. Do you remember
That
that
was so
episode?
creepy. But we had the guest on. We had the owner. Was that Sean?
That might have been Sean. I don't remember the owner, but we did
So
talk
he
about the
turned it
house.
into a wedding venue. Now, come on, if it's the Brownsville Demon House, would you want to have your
Why are you going to go? Yeah, you're just
why would
asking
you
for
want to
trouble.
have I know, why would you want your wedding to be there? That's just creepy.
Yeah. Well, do you have to pay per a plate for somebody who's a ghost?
Well, it really wasn't a ghost, it was a demon.
That's even worse.
Don't
They
you look
need
it
a
up? The
lot.
Brownsville Road Demon, I think it was.
Yeah.
House. It's in Pittsburgh. Brownsville Road. Kind
Brownsville
of
Road.
creepy.
Very creepy.
Yeah. Very
So,
creepy.
everybody, stay tuned till next week.
Yeah,
Thank
have a
you
great
again.
weekend, and thank you so much for coming here. Same time,
Watch the
same
press
channel
secretary.
next
If you
week.
see one of us up there, we got the press pass.
I used to have a press pass. I used to work for this company. I did blogs, and I could go all those places.
Look at that. Look at Jen. Okay, dust that off.
Yeah, that was fun. I was
All
on
right.
Geraldo. I forgot to tell you that. I was
Yeah.
on Geraldo. Oh, I have to find the video.
You got to find that video. I need
It
to
was-
put that in. We got to make a
They
new.
found me. They found me. It still didn't start. They found me from my blog, and they called me one day. And I'm working at home. I did remote, remote.
Yeah,
work
yeah.
Before it was cool, and I got a phone from a New York. I'm like, who is this? He goes, Fox News. I go, yeah, and I hung up. They called back. This is Fox News. I said, no, it's not. Do you have a blog named Mom's Soapbox? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, we would like to have you on the show. It was so funny.
That's
Judge
so
Jeannie.
cool.
Yeah, Judge Jeannie. Oh my.
Oh,
what-
Jeanette
we did,
Puro. Yeah.
what we did was what I did was I blogged about how the kids were
Thanks, Harold.
sexting
Oh, yeah. Dirty text.
way
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
My kids were in high school. My son came on the show. It was so cool. They picked us up in a limo.
Ooh, you
It
got
was,
the limo
but
treatment?
I got like stage fright, and I'm like, I look like my son said. They were all laughing at me. My kid said, "Mom, you look like you're constipated."
Oh, that's not nice.
I said, they told me, don't say mortified. I kept on, they told me, my family would say, don't say mortified, Mom. And then what did I say? I was so mortified.
Yeah.
You had to be there. My kids made fun of me so bad.
Oh, that's a shame. Well,
Yeah, but it was an experience. They did your makeup and your hair. It was fun.
that sounds, hey,
I
except
have,
for hair
I
and
have to
makeup.
find that tape. It was hysterical. I'll have to tell my son to look for
You,
it.
yeah, you got to find that.
It
I
was
got it.
so
You got to
funny.
send that. We got to share that out.
I look like a black. I look like a black Italian lady. I swear.
Really?
They put so much. I mean, I look like a Michael Jackson right now because I'm so fair in the winter. But they put so much.
Yeah, they
I
really
looked
tell
like
you.
I was an old Italian lady. It was terrible. And that was like, oh my God, that was like 2013, 20 years ago. It was like,
Yeah,
that was like
Geraldo was early
100
2000s, wasn't it? So
Yeah, it was a while ago. I definitely have to look for that, and I'll have to get it. I'll
yeah.
have to have my son put it on a disc.
Well, stay tuned, everyone. We might have a
So
20-year-old clip from Geraldo.
Look at this.
Geraldo.
I'm in a boot camp, but look, they're still it takes forever.
At least she's in a boot camp, a 9 o'clock boot camp. Better be on the West Coast.
No, they're on Central Time, so it's really
So 8
only.
o'clock. Okay.
But all right, guys. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on Chasing Prophecy.
Yeah, Harold, subscribe, watch us again. Thank you so much for all your nice comments, man.
Definitely, guys. Have a great evening. I love you.